Here we are. I'm just making the next video with the assistance of Stella. Hello again. I just had to get that out there because I never said it last time. This video is about turbo restrictors, seals, and unwrapping the cage, putting it together and putting some primer on it. So I'm trying to keep the video short and sweet and quantity, not quality. Well, you know that anyway. Hope you enjoy, and yeah, this is what I've been doing. This is a 32mm turbo restrictor, which a friend kindly gave to me. I'm not sure what they cost, I think they're £100. So where the turbo, the inlet for the turbo is, the air side going in, this, you have to machine the casing and slide this in. So what it does is it restricts the amount of air going in by reducing the size. I presume the external size is the normal size of the turbo inlet, and it's reduced to 32mm. Let me just measure it and see what the difference is. Yeah, I've just measured it and it's roughly 48mm. Yeah, so you're reducing it substantially by going to 32mm. And I know if you have a 2-litre car with a turbo, you can have a 34mm restrictor, but if you go over 2 litre, and mine's 2.5, then it has to be 32mm restrictor. So, and I know the 32 makes a lot more, it's a lot more restrictive than the 34. So what I've got to do is take the turbo off the car. Hopefully the casing will come off one side and I can get it machined so that'll fit into it. And then you put bolts in that locate in these don't go right the way through, so it holds it in place. And then you have to put drill holes in the bolts, so you put a seal on it. So you can't take this out without removing the seal, and once you've removed the seal, you wouldn't get through scrutineering. It's got to have an intact seal on it. And if you want to get another seal put on it, you have to get it all accessible so the inside can be measured again to make sure it's the right restrictor on it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. What I want to do is stick that in. I'm on a budget, so I'm going to stick that in and not get it mapped. I'll just leave it as it is and see how that works. It's got a airflow meter, mass air sensor they're called now, that will tell it how much air is going through, so it should do the fueling all right. So I'll have to take the sealant off, which should come off easy enough. So I think also, I've just driven it back from when I had the camera inside the car, and the clutch is stiff. It's really stiff. I don't like a stiff clutch. I like a standard clutch. I think whatever you do, unless you're a total animal, you should be able to use a standard clutch. Wasn't keen on it being stiff, and driving it back, it started slipping a little bit. When you're in fourth and you're just poodling along, you put your foot down, it once the turbo starts spilling up, it'll start slipping on the clutch. So I've just ordered a new clutch and pressure plate and release bearing, so I might as well change all them. And then I ordered an alignment tool and for the clutch, because that was only £10. And then I also ordered a new cam belt. The guy I bought the car off said it had a new cam belt, but for what they are, I'll stick a new cam belt on anyway and make sure the tension's all right. So what I'll probably do is pull the engine out so I can get to the clutch, and then, because they do come out, if it's anything like the early one that I had before, they did come out quite easily. And then I'll do the cam belt, put the restrictor on, because I'll get access. I'll be able to put it on the engine stand, get it upside down or whatever. And I'll put the cam belt on, put the restrictor in, put the clutch on, and then put it back in again, knowing that all the jobs are done, so it should happily keep going. Right, now we'll go back to the roll cage, because I've just sort of done this in between. Right, that's my 32mm restrictor. That's my 32mm restrictor tester. So this has been machined, the top end's 34mm, bottom end's 32mm. So that's not fitting through a 32mm hole. This, I'll try and do it one-ended, 32mm. Doesn't fit through, so that restrictor's fine for a over 2 litre car. If it was under 2 litre, it'd be 34mm, and I'd use the wider end of it to check that didn't fit through. Right, the idea being, if I was scrutineering someone's car, or if they wanted me to put a restrictor seal on it, I would have to measure the restrictor. It's got to be within 50mm of the turbine blade, I think it is. I would have to measure it, make sure that it's either less than 32 or less than 34. Then make sure that the bolts are securing this restrictor, and the bolts would have to be drilled so I could put the seal through the 2 bolts back through the other end of the seal, and it works like a zip tie, cable tie. It's got like a ratchet inside, so you can pull the cable through, pull it nice and tight so it's on the restrictor, and you know that this will not come out unless you cut this. You'd have to cut the cable, and then if you turned up to an event, you would not be allowed to race without a turbo seal on it. So if you turned up without a seal on it, you'd either have to hope that there's a scrutineer there that can test it and put another seal on it, or you will not be racing, because no one would know that that's less than 32mm or 32 or 34mm. Yeah, because with a turbo car, the power's unlimited, 600 horsepower is, you know, you can get that out of a car that hasn't got a restrictor in it. With a restrictor, you'll struggle with getting past, you get more than 300, but it won't go more than that, whereas without this restrictor, you get lots more. Right, so that's what's going to happen. I'll have to get someone else to do that once it's in the car. This is the roll cage for the Impreza, and this is as it came. There's 2, there's a bit of weight in them. There's 2 packages the same. So it's a bolting cage, and it must all clamp together. So what I'm going to do is open up the packaging and have a look and see what we've got there. We're in the garage, we've got a bit of space, but it'd be nice if I could sort of build it up in here. We'll see how we get on. That's it unwrapped. There's 3 parts to it, 4 parts. So I've put the diagonal bit on. I've just got a bolt in each side. This is for the roof and ceiling. I'm not sure how that goes. I think I'll stick the sides on, and then I can work out. That goes from 1 to 2 bits, right? And there should be, oh no, it's a windscreen bar that goes across the top of the windscreen and a diagonal. These are the, when it's all together I'll explain that. But yeah, it looks very good. I do like his welding, and I love the packaging. Who would have thought you could get a full cage in 2 small packages, which makes life a lot easier, because normally they come welded up like that. So, and these are all MSA compliant fittings, connections and everything. So far, very impressed. Right, that took minutes to put that together. Obviously, I've only put a couple of bolts in. There's like one's missing here. It just gives you the gist of how it's going to go. I have no idea how much of the dash these go into, penetrate or whatever. But yeah, I like it. I think it's I think it's a good bit of kit, this, all in 45mm steel. I am going to have to give it a rub down and get some paint on it, because it's going to start rusting up in no time. I can see it being all bare metal. It's starting to get bits on it, so and it's in the garage, which isn't a dry environment. Well, it's been on delivery for a while, but that looks stunning. That does. I'm really pleased, and I like the fact that it's not going to take long to get that in. I've got all the plates came with it that will get welded to the floor. I think he's actually done a sandwich with these. 1, 3, 4 plates. Not sure what they're for. 4 backings. Right, so the main hoop, 3 either side, so they're both the main hoops. Impreza A pillar. So these both go onto the front, and the rears bolt to the right. So there must be sandwich plates either side for the rear. So you weld one on and use the other one as a big washer, I suppose. Yeah, and loads of bolts come with it. Washers. Yeah, I want to start ripping the interior out the Subaru, but I know once I start doing that, it's not going to be much use as a road car. Mind you, I've got the Micra. Right, let's get it sanded down and get some paint on it. I've got the heater on. Well, getting a bit of heat into the paint. Normally I put them into hot water, but it'd be good to get a bit of heat into the cage as well. So I've got 400 grit sandpaper, gloves, paper toweling, panel wipe, well it's not a brake cleaner, mask, wire brush for the bits that have already got rust in them. So yeah, let me get this prepared. Oh, I'll put a duvet cover over the car. So I'm going to sand it, and I think I'll do the wire brush bit first, get any bits of rust off it, and then give it a sand down and get it ready for priming. Right, I've given it a wire wheel with the drill, and then I'll use the wire brush just to get into, there was like some little bits of brown there where you could see the rust had just started, so to get that out. And then I've gone over it with 400 sandpaper just to scuff it up a bit, and then I went over with brake cleaner and a paper toweling just to get any, normally when you get steel pipe it's got oil on it to stop it from rusting, so but usually before you weld it you wipe the oil off. So it's just a case of giving it a once over to just help the paint stick really. Right, get some paint on it. I've got the primer. This is toasty. Might be too hot actually because I've left it in front of the heater. So it's warming up here in rapidly. Right, I've got the mask, which I found out is a charcoal mask and lasts like 3 weeks once you've opened it. I've been using that for a couple of years. So I'll stick it on again. I can talk now because I've got the mask off. That's the cage done. That was 2 cans of primer to get it where it is now. And there are bits that are a little bit thin in places, but what I wanted is to get a coating on it just so it wouldn't start going rusty if it's in the car and it's been left overnight outside or being in the garage. So I was going to stick the paint on as well, but it's going to be in and out of the car. I'm going to be sliding the slip tubes over the connectors where they join. It's going to take a lot of this off. So I think what I'll do is strip the car, get the interior out, get this in place, line it up so I can weld the plates in, that get welded to the car. To do that, I'd have to take the cage back out, and then I can touch up the primer and paint it, finish painting it, paint it black, and then fit it finally. And I'm sure there'll be a couple of bits that need touching up. But no, I'm well pleased with that. That looks like a lovely finish. So, one issue, top of the Escort's gone a bit red. So I'm hoping it's just like dust. Ah, it is, yeah. I thought I was going to have to polish it all. So, yeah, I put a duvet cover on the back, hoping that would protect it, which obviously has, but yeah, that'll just come off. This is dry by the time it's got there. So, yeah, very pleased with the way it's turned out. So, next job, get the seats out of the car, get the airbags and roof lining, and start putting this in, and I can see how far this goes into the dash. So it'd be nice to be able to cut the dash without taking it out. If the dash goes right back, I'm gonna have to take the dash out. Well, probably not. I can probably cut it anyway, but I'll see more once it's in place. Once I know where the main hoop goes, which I'll work from this back brace, then I can put these in. I'll see how much needs cutting out. So I think I'll finish this bit here, and then next one will be getting the car prepared for it, ready for it.